Welcome to the Stoic Golden Tribe, where enduring wisdom meets the strength of presence, and where we uncover the truths modern society refuses to teach men. This one is for every man who's ever been left confused by a woman's emotional storms. Every man who's tried to be good, supportive, or understanding, only to feel unappreciated, disrespected, or abandoned. The truth is harsh but freeing. If you don't know this about her emotions, you will keep losing her, not because you're weak, not because you're unworthy, but because no one ever taught you how to understand the emotional world she lives in, and how your masculine energy is meant to meet it. This video will reveal the powerful emotional truths that separate men who lead with calm presence from those who collapse under pressure. You'll hear stories of great historical couples, men who mastered the art of emotional strength, and women who followed them with fierce devotion. You'll discover why most modern men fail, not because they're bad partners, but because they're emotionally blind. And most importantly, you'll walk away with the emotional intelligence and masculine clarity needed to earn a woman's deep respect, and keep it. So if you're ready to stop being confused by her and start becoming the kind of man she wants to follow emotionally, spiritually, and fully, then like, share, subscribe, and drop a comment below. Let your voice be part of this movement. Let's build the tribe together. Chapter 1. The emotional landscape of a woman, and why most men misread it completely. There's a truth most men never hear growing up. A woman's emotions are not problems to fix. They are landscapes to understand. And if you keep trying to solve them, silence them, or resist them, you'll keep losing her. Over and over again. This is not because you're not man enough. It's because no one taught you how to read the feminine emotional world. You see, a woman is not wired like you. She doesn't think in straight lines. She feels in waves. She remembers in colors. She lives in the realm of intuition, impression, and emotion. But here's the key. Her emotions are not random. They are data, signals, expressions of need. And if you learn to interpret that data, you become a man few women ever forget. Most men, however, are trained in the opposite direction. We're taught, don't cry, don't feel, fix the issue, provide the solution, be the logic. So what happens when a man trained in cold logic meets a woman who lives in the heat of emotion? Misalignment, conflict, resentment, distance. He thinks she's overreacting. She thinks he doesn't care. He thinks she's irrational. She thinks he's emotionally unavailable. And the tragedy? They both might love each other deeply, but the lack of emotional understanding slowly kills the connection. Let's look at a historical example: Queen Victoria and Prince Albert. Their love was passionate, powerful, but also incredibly emotional. Victoria was intense, quick-tempered, and expressive. Albert was thoughtful, methodical, deeply intelligent. But he learned how to respond to her with calm, not control. He didn't suppress her fire. He contained it by embodying emotional presence. When Victoria would rage or despair, Albert didn't retreat or attack. He listened. He stayed grounded. He made her feel understood, not managed. That's the first secret. Her emotions aren't asking for control. They're asking for connection. When she storms in frustration, she's often testing. Do you see me? Can I trust you here? Will you stay or will you retreat? This is the language of feminine energy. It's not English, it's emotional frequency. And if all you ever respond with is, calm down, or why are you so emotional? Or, this doesn't make sense, you're not just misunderstanding her. You're making her feel emotionally alone. And that's when she disconnects, not because she stopped loving you, but because you stopped reaching her. Now here's what most men never realize. You don't need to feel everything she feels. You just need to make her feel safe, feeling it around you. Let that sink in. Your power isn't in being emotionally reactive. Your power is in being emotionally receptive without being pulled off center. She doesn't want you to cry with her. She wants to know that when she breaks down, you won't break with her. This is the deeper level of emotional intelligence most men are never taught. It's not soft, it's not passive, it's strong. Because the man who can hold his own ground in the presence of a woman's emotional storm is the man who earns her respect for life. Think of it this way: she is the ocean, powerful, emotional, deep, and shifting. You are the mountain, rooted, steady, present, unshaken. She doesn't want you to become the ocean. She wants to crash against your rock and feel safe that you're still there, unbothered, unbroken, unwavering. Now let's get practical. What does emotional leadership look like in everyday situations? 1. She's upset but not saying why. Don't interrogate. Don't withdraw. Sit with her, offer presence. Say, I can feel something's up. You don't need to talk until you're ready, but I'm not going anywhere. Boom. Safety. 2. She's overthinking or spiraling. Don't dismiss her. Don't solve her. Say, I get that it feels overwhelming. I've got you. We'll get through this. You just became her anchor. 3. She's emotional, and you don't know why. Don't make it about you. Don't react defensively. Stay calm. Breathe. Let your energy say, this doesn't shake me. This is what separates strong men from emotionally weak men, not their ability to avoid emotion, but their ability to lead through it. And yes, emotional leadership is leadership, because when you lead emotionally, you allow the relationship to thrive, not in chaos, but in trust. Remember, the feminine doesn't need your answers. She needs your awareness. The more you fight her emotions, the more you lose. The more you honor them without being ruled by them, the more you gain. Your job is not to become her therapist. It's to become her rock, her emotional foundation, her home. And that begins by understanding what her emotions are actually saying. Not, I'm mad at you, but can you stay calm with me? Not, I'm overreacting, but can you see past the storm and still choose me? Not, I want control, but I want to feel safe enough to let go of control. This is the emotional map. And most men are walking around without a compass. But not you, not after this. Because the man who learns to read her emotions becomes the man she never wants to live without. Chapter 2. The emotional tests. She doesn't even know she's giving you. There's something most women won't tell you. And many don't even consciously realize they're doing it. They test you emotionally. Not to manipulate you, no, not to frustrate you, but to find your edges. Why? Because a woman's deepest instinct isn't for luxury, charm, or even success. Her deepest instinct, or when it comes to relationship, is for safety. And not just physical safety, emotional safety. That means she must know. Will this man stand firm when I'm a mess? Will he stay calm when I lose my composure? Can he lead when I feel like falling apart? And here's where most men fail. They see these emotional tests as attacks, instead of seeing them as invitations to lead. Let's break it down. You're in a relationship. Things are going well. But then, out of nowhere, she starts criticizing small things. She gets irritable. She's more emotional than usual. You feel like you're walking on eggshells. And your reaction, you defend yourself. You try to fix her. Or you emotionally withdraw, saying things like, I can't deal with this right now. Wrong move. She's not looking for a solution. She's looking for your emotional frame. In that moment, she's asking, can you stay grounded when I can't? Can you be my emotional mountain even when I throw storms at you? It's not always rational, but it's real, it's ancient, Let's rewind to an iconic historical couple, Napoleon Bonaparte and Josephine de Beauharnais. Josephine was emotional, passionate, and often dramatic. Napoleon, a military genius, yes, but also a man deeply in love, obsessed even. But whenever Josephine tested him emotionally, Napoleon crumbled. He became insecure, desperate, jealous, possessive. He lost his center, he lost his frame. And eventually he lost her respect. Why? Because emotional leadership isn't about passion, it's about presence. A woman will follow a man's leadership, but only if he leads from a place of unshakable calm, not emotional chaos. Now let's be clear, this isn't about suppressing emotion, it's about owning it, mastering it, leading it. Because here's the truth, if you can't lead your own emotions, you can't lead hers. And when you lose that leadership, she loses trust. Not always instantly, but gradually, one moment at a time, until one day she's gone. Not physically at first, but emotionally. And then eventually, completely. So how do you pass the emotional tests? 1. Don't take her emotions personally. This is rule number 1. She might say things in heat that sting. She might explode, cry, or seem irrational. And yes, it might be unfair. But if you take it personally, you've already lost the frame. Instead, stay grounded. Don't react. Respond. Say, I can feel you're upset. I'm here. Let's slow this down. Boom. Leadership. 2. Don't argue with her feelings. Trying to argue a woman out of her emotions is like trying to stop the rain with your hands. You don't need to agree with her feelings to acknowledge them. You don't need to fix them to honor them. She wants to feel heard, not overruled. When she says, you don't listen to me, don't say, yes, I do. Say, help me understand what you're needing right now. That's presence. That's power. 3. Stay calm in the fire. Imagine this. You're standing in a burning building. She's panicking. Do you panic with her? Number. You stay calm. You look her in the eye and say, follow me. I know the way out. That's what emotional leadership feels like. When she's emotional, you become more grounded, not less. You don't mirror her chaos, you regulate it with your stillness. This is what women crave. This is what earns you her trust. Let's look at another powerful historical example, Winston Churchill and Clementine Churchill. Winston, under immense pressure as a wartime leader, faced criticism, opposition, and emotional stress daily. But Clementine was no quiet shadow. She was sharp, emotionally expressive, and never afraid to challenge him. And Winston, he didn't shut her down. He didn't run. He listened. He stood firm. He honored her emotions without being ruled by them. That's masculine containment. And Clementine respected him not just because of his public leadership, but because of his emotional strength in private. You see, emotional tests are not just about the moment, they're about pattern recognition. She's subconsciously watching. Do you stay consistent over time? Do you lose yourself under emotional pressure? Do you lead through peace or perform until you explode? The man who passes her emotional tests isn't the one who never gets emotional. It's the one who never gets emotionally lost. So here's the shift. Stop viewing her emotional waves as problems. Start viewing them as opportunities to lead with strength, to hold steady, to make her feel seen without falling apart yourself. Because when you pass her tests, something powerful happens. She lets go, she relaxes, she stops fighting you, she starts following you with devotion, not out of fear, but out of trust, because now she knows, this man can handle me, this man is safe. And a woman who feels emotionally safe will give you more than her body, she will give you her soul, but fail those tests and she'll start to retreat, not with a scream, but with silence, and by the time you notice, it may already be too late. So remember, her emotional tests are not attacks, they're invitations to rise. And when you rise, as a man of presence, calm and clarity, She will follow you into the fire and beyond it. Chapter 3. Become the emotional leader she's longing for. Here's the truth most men never hear from anyone, not their fathers, not their coaches, not even their friends. You are built for more. You are built to lead, not with control, but with calm, not through dominance, but through direction. And the woman in your life? She's not looking for perfection. She's not asking you to be flawless. She's looking for something far deeper. Emotional leadership. She wants to feel like you know where you're going, not just in your career or your finances, but in your emotions. She wants to feel like when the storm hits, and it always will, you can keep your footing, that you can say, I've got this, I've got you, we'll figure it out, and mean it. That's what makes a man unforgettable. Not money, not muscles, not smooth talk. It's his presence, his ability to remain grounded when the world, or her heart, feels like it's falling apart. Let's look at a legendary relationship that proves this. King Leonidas of Sparta and Queen Gorgo. Leonidas wasn't just a warrior. He was a man of clarity, composure, and quiet intensity. And Queen Gorgo wasn't just a wife. She was his equal in spirit, his mirror in strength. But what made their bond so unshakable was how Leonidas led from a place of calm presence. He didn't try to fix her emotions, he honored them. He didn't avoid conflict, he stood inside of it with courage and clarity. And she followed him, not as a servant, but as a woman who knew she was safe in his presence. That is what emotional leadership looks like, and you, yes you, are capable of that level of power. You don't need to be born with it. You build it, day by day, choice by choice. Let me show you how. 1. Become emotionally grounded. Before you can lead her emotions, you must learn to regulate your own. You must become a master of the pause. Before you react, you reflect. Before you speak, you breathe. Before you raise your voice, you lower your tone. Grounded men don't rush to control. They bring stability to instability. When she's spinning emotionally, you don't spin with her. You become the eye of the storm. Still, centered, certain. That alone changes the entire relationship. She starts to believe in your leadership, not because you dominate her, but because you bring peace into her chaos. 2. Listen with your presence, not just your ears. Most men hear women, but they don't listen. They respond to words, not to what's beneath the words. She says, "You don't care about me." But what she's really saying is, "I'm scared. I feel alone. I need you to remind me I matter." The emotionally mature man doesn't get offended. He leans in. He says, "Tell me more. I'm here. I'm not leaving." You don't need a perfect response. You just need to show her she's not invisible to you. That, my brother, is power. 3. Lead with vision, especially in chaos. When things go wrong, she's watching you. Not just for answers, but for energy. Are you grounded? Are you confident in the middle of uncertainty? Do you carry the calm that says, even if we don't have it all figured out yet, we will? When a man brings that vision into a relationship, she stops fighting him. She softens. She trusts. And here's the beautiful truth. When a woman trusts your leadership, she gives you her deepest femininity, her softness, her beauty, her full expression. Why? Because she no longer feels like she has to protect herself from you. She can relax into your frame. That's when the magic happens. That's when the connection deepens. That's when intimacy becomes effortless. That's when love becomes a force, not just a feeling. You don't have to be perfect, just present. Maybe you're reading this and thinking, I've failed at this before, or I've never been taught any of this, or I've already lost her. Let me tell you something that can change your life. It's not too late to become the man you were always meant to be. You don't need to live in regret. You don't need to dwell on past mistakes. You need only to decide today to become emotionally responsible, to stop blaming, to stop reacting, to stop shrinking under pressure, and start leading. Start owning your presence. Start becoming that mountain she can finally rest beside. No more games, no more excuses, just grounded, masculine leadership. And if you do that consistently, not only will women start to treat you differently, you will start to see yourself differently. That's the reward. That's the transformation. You'll walk taller, speak slower, react less, command more, not through fear, but through respect. And when a woman finally meets a man who leads this way and from the heart, with strength, she knows. She may not be able to explain it, but her body, her spirit, her whole being feels safe. And the man who gives a woman that kind of emotional safety, he never has to beg for her love. She offers it, freely, fully, fiercely. You have what it takes. Let this be your reminder today. You were made for this. You have the strength to lead, love, and live with emotional excellence. It's not a weakness to feel, it's a superpower to lead through feeling. It's not a flaw to be tested, it's a gift to rise through pressure. And as you rise, you'll attract a woman who's not looking for a boy to fix her emotions, but a man who can honor them, the man who can stand calm in her storm, the man who stays steady in her fire, the man who doesn't run, but remains. That man, that's you, once you choose to step into it. Chapter 4. How a woman's emotions respond to the strength of your character. There's one more truth that most men never realize. A woman doesn't fall in love with your looks, your job, or your status. Not truly. She falls in love with the way she feels in your presence. And her emotions? They respond to the weight of your character, your consistency, your integrity, your self-control, your grounded leadership, especially when things are messy. Most men chase emotional validation from women. They want her affection so badly, they try to earn it through pleasing, agreeing, apologizing, even when they've done nothing wrong. But here's the paradox. The more you try to earn her emotions, the more she withdraws them. Because deep down, she's not looking for a man who needs her validation. She's looking for a man who doesn't need it to stay steady. Let's take a hard look at a powerful and painful historical example. Henry VIII and Anne Boleyn. Henry was a king, a ruler, a man with unimaginable power. But emotionally, he was fragile. When Anne, bold, passionate, and unpredictable, challenged his control, Henry didn't respond with strength. He reacted with insecurity, jealousy, possessiveness, and eventually, violence. His emotional immaturity destroyed the very thing he claimed to love. He couldn't lead through her emotional fire, so he tried to extinguish it. And in doing so, he lost not only her, but himself. That's what happens when a man lets insecurity lead him. But contrast that with a story of quiet, steady strength, Marcus Aurelius and Faustina. Marcus Aurelius, the Stoic philosopher king, ruled not just an empire, but himself. And while Faustina wasn't always predictable or calm, Marcus didn't fight her emotion with emotion. He returned every fire with inner stillness. He didn't collapse when she tested him. He didn't need to overpower her, because he had already mastered himself. That is the difference. A woman's emotions are not a puzzle to fix. They are a current to navigate. And the only man who can do that is one who has done the hard work of shaping his own soul. How to build the kind of character. Her emotions respect. Let's bring this into your life now. This isn't about history. It's about you. your relationships, your leadership, your legacy. So how do you become the kind of man a woman respects emotionally, not just loves in a fleeting moment? Here are 3 unbreakable principles. 1. Hold your frame, even when it hurts. There will be moments she's emotional and unfair. Moments she criticizes you, withdraws, cries, or lashes out. And yes, sometimes it will hurt. But here's what emotionally strong men understand. You don't abandon your values to calm her emotions. You don't betray your truth to gain temporary peace. You stay calm. You stay clear. You speak the truth with love, but never with fear. Because women don't respect men who fold to pressure. They respect men who hold their frame with honor. 2. Be her mirror, not her judge. When a woman is overwhelmed by emotion, she doesn't need judgment, she needs reflection. You show her what's happening, calmly, clearly. You say, I see you're upset, I want to understand, let's slow this down. Or, I love you, I'm not going anywhere, let's get to the truth underneath this. This isn't softness, it's strength in gentleness. It's what separates boys from men, and it gives her the gift of clarity in a moment of chaos. 3. Build a life that doesn't rise or fall on her mood. This is the final and most powerful principle. You must build a mission, a mindset, and a vision so strong that no woman's mood can shake your foundation. This doesn't mean you become cold or detached. It means you stay centered no matter what storm hits you. You love her, yes. You honor her emotions, absolutely. But your identity doesn't come from her affection. Your worth doesn't come from her approval. Your direction doesn't shift with her emotional waves. Because when you live this way, something extraordinary happens. She stops testing you on and starts trusting you. She stops doubting and starts respecting. She stops withholding and starts pouring out. Not because you demanded it, but because you became the man who could hold it. Well, this is who you're meant to be. You're not here to be controlled by feminine emotion, and you're not here to avoid it either. You are here to lead it, not by force, but by presence. You are here to be a man who stays calm when she's in chaos, who listens when she's loud, who steadies the fire without putting it out. You are the emotional container, the protector of peace, the silent force that makes her feel safe enough to surrender. That kind of man, he doesn't beg for loyalty. He inspires it. He doesn't chase love. He commands it through the quality of his character. And if you rise to that level, if you train yourself to be that kind of man, you will never lose her again. Not because she can't leave, but because she won't want to, because she'll know in a world of weak men, reactive men, absent men, she has something rare. A man she can finally trust, a man she can follow, a man who is safe to love. The path to strength begins now. If this message has struck a chord in you, if something in your soul knows this is the man you're meant to become, then don't wait. Start now. Start building your emotional foundation. Start taking full ownership of your presence. Start leading with quiet strength, not noise. Start becoming the man who can't be shaken. And as you walk this path, remember, you are not alone. You are part of a brotherhood, a generation of men awakening to their power again. We are the Stoic Golden Tribe, and together we rise. If this video spoke to you, like it, share it, comment below, and tell us what hit you the hardest, and subscribe. Because this is just the beginning. Welcome to the tribe, where men become kings, and where strength is born from stillness.